It's midwinter, and with a few days of exceptional weather, I've come out for a high camp on top of Scotland's biggest expanse of roadless wilderness, the Cairngorms. And as it's Christmas weekend when this video comes out, I add a couple of festive touches to my night on the roof of Britain.
My name's Feargus. This is the middle of nowhere.
What a beautiful day. Look at that. I'm in the Cairngorms, actually on top of Cairn Gorm mountain itself, which is the gateway to this relatively vast white wilderness that you get at this time of year. And these are the best conditions that you could possibly imagine. I haven't been up here in the winter in about 15 years, and it is unbelievably calm and clear. Loch over there, which is one of the highest lochs in the country, is surprisingly not completely frozen, but that's because there have been a lot of freeze-thaw cycles, very warm, cold over the last few weeks. So it will snow and then it will warm up a little bit, so it'll partially thaw and then it will freeze again, and that's why it's really hard right now that I'm up here. And I need my crampons, because actually I tried walking a little while ago without them because it's quicker that way, and it's actually pretty slippy. So there are people here with skis in some places, but most people are going with crampons like me. I can see the Shelterstone Crag, the Northern Corries there to my right. They don't see the sun for about 2 months at this time of year. They're just completely in the shade because the sun is so low down, even at midday on a perfect day like this. So they won't see the sunlight until February, March again. And some parts of them won't see the sunlight until nearly the summer, in fact. Anyway, days are short. It's nearly Christmas. Now I've got a few more kilometers to go. So I gotta get to my Christmas camp before dark. So I'm gonna get on with it. I'm here at last. Buff, buff. Second highest mountain
on this island. Ben Macdui. Oh, that's a long walk, especially in these conditions and with this much gear. It took all day, all 6 and a bit hours of it. I just missed the sunset. It went down a few minutes ago. Oh God. Oh, stunning, absolutely stunning. If you want to camp up here in winter, if you don't mind the cold, then this is the kind of evening you want. Absolutely breathtaking. Hardly a breath of wind. Right, I am going to take a few pictures while there's still, oh, I need to get these crampons off, while there is still a bit of daylight, of nice daylight, and then I will set up my camp. Bear with me. Oh, amazing. Do you like my Christmas tree? Got to bring some festive fun up to the bleak plateau of the Cairngorms, the highest point in the range. And of course, what chocolate do I have with me today? Well, what has become the quintessential Christmas chocolate. It's no longer, for me at least, the whole Quality Street or Roses, because they have just become crap compared to what they were like when I was young. No, it's these absolutely delicious Lind balls. Oh, yes. It's really hard because it's so cold up here. So, I hope you are all having a lovely Christmas weekend. Obviously it's not Christmas weekend when I'm filming this, but it's an honorary Christmas weekend for me because I want to be in the spirit, at least for these 2 days. I realized something really cool on the way up here. So I've never been to the top of Ben Macdui before, and I've only been to the top of Ben Nevis once. So with this being the second highest peak in the country, on the whole island of Great Britain, unless in the unlikely event that someone is also camping right now on top of Ben Nevis, I am the highest person, at least attached to the ground, in Britain. I'm the highest person on this whole island tonight. All 60 plus million of the population of this island are, at least for tonight, beneath me. Ha ha ha. Unless, of course, there's someone camping on top of Ben Nevis, but that's unlikely because as I film this, it's a weeknight. I did see some torchlights in the distance on the far side of the glen, the Laird Grew, because there's another ridge over there, which is almost as high as this, but not quite. So they are beneath me too. It's so calm, which is just as well, because I would have had to camp below the summit. Otherwise, there's no way to get pegs in here. So the tent, all of the important points, which is keeping the tent in place, are being held down by rocks. That's just what I do if it's calm enough. But it's forecast to be like this all night and all day tomorrow. One other thing. You might be wondering, because if you watched the last video, I lost my drone and said that I could not afford to buy a replacement. But of course, there's already been some drone shots in this video because I pulled out all the stops, sold a few things that I didn't need on eBay, got one of these dinky little things in the Black Friday sales. It's incredible. 249 grams. It's nothing. You could just stick it in your pocket. And there's a better camera on it than the one I lost. But the one I lost was state of the art in 2017 when I got it. All right, that's me. It really actually doesn't feel all that cold in here. So I'm gonna chill out now and fall asleep at some point soon, I hope. It's 9 o'clock. Got my little companion, Hearty. It's a very important companion of mine. It was given to me by my 8-year-old son, and it's a little symbol of him that I like to take with me whenever possible on my excursions. So, good night for now. Hopefully it won't get too cold. Awkward angle. Okay. Beautiful. I love the way that up here in the Cairngorms, once you reach the height of the plateau and you get a south-facing slope like this, the summit is just a couple of 100 meters up that way. You can look out across what is the biggest expanse of uninhabited terrain in the UK. So you could walk for days across there and you wouldn't come across a road. Probably bump into the odd person, but not many, in all fairness. Down there in the glen right below me is Carrúr Bothy, which is quite a popular one, so I'd be surprised if there was nobody in there last night, given the conditions on these days. It's at the base of that distinctive and dramatic face over there. It's called the Devil's Point
although legend has it that it was given the name in English when Queen Victoria was wandering along with a guide, probably on horseback in the 19th century, and asked her guide, "What's the name of that?" And he said, "Oh, that's the Devil's Point." Whereas in actual fact, the name that they had for it was the Devil's Penis. And the person wasn't quite comfortable relaying that information to the refined queen of the empire. I don't know if that's true, that's just the legend I've been told. The clarity of the air is so exceptional. Over there is Bray Riach, which is the third highest peak on the island of Britain. Over there is the fourth highest peak. And I think the fifth one is somewhere around here as well, but correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that that is Ben Nevis over there. It looks really quite close because the air is so clear, but I can't think of anything else that it could be. And I have seen Ben Nevis from the ridge opposite around Bray Riach in the past. The first visitors to the summit of Ben Macdui were here just a little while ago while I was making my breakfast. It's really nice to see. A couple of them were clearly from Eastern Europe or Russia, and it's really nice to see people of different backgrounds coming up to places like these. Sometimes feels like a very exclusive situation when you're up in the mountains. You know, you don't see a lot of ethnic diversity and people from minorities coming up here for some reason, and it really doesn't reflect the demographics of the UK as a whole. You know, these places are free to all. They're definitely not reserved for the white middle classes and predominantly male. The sun might not be very high up, but if I retreat into the tent and get out of the breeze, I can feel plenty of warmth from it, which is not something that I tend to feel very often at this time of year because it's so low down. But then the temperatures are above freezing. My thermometer now, where is it? There we go. Now inside the tent anyway, it's reading 7.7 degrees. So it's really not that bad. Not bad temperatures for Christmas. Pretend Christmas. Okay, on the move. I am going to take a bit of a detour on the way back in order to get some of the exceptional views to the east. There are some really nice drop-offs and lochs and cliffs and stuff. So I'm going to head down this way, get a look at a loch, which is in a corrie. It's really high up because I would like to come back in the summer in order to go for a snorkel in that, because it's one of just a handful of lochs in the whole country which are above 900 meters in height. Well, that's a good cliff. And I can see the loch right below me. Very airy spot, I must say. Look at those rocks as well. Absolutely amazing. You look at the Cairngorms from a distance and they look all quite rounded and boring, but then you do get these spots where things are exceptionally dramatic. Whoop, don't fall off the rock. The top of the Shelter Stone Crag. The best cliff in the Cairngorms. It's pretty much a sheer drop just over there. It rises a couple of 100 meters above the beautiful Loch, which dominates this basin below me, and it's just, I think it's the most beautiful loch in the Cairngorms. I think the loch is actually partially frozen as well down there. There's a thin layer of ice on the surface of it. Wouldn't want to try walking on that. As you can see, it's getting towards sunset. There's less than an hour to go now until the sun sets. And I have come on quite a detour to get to this spot. I'm having a late lunch. It's not even 3 o'clock yet. But hey, midwinter. And although that peak over there is Cairn Gorm, that's where I need to get to, where I started out yesterday. If the basin wasn't here, it would be a pretty simple affair to get across. But it is, which means that I have to go all the way up there, around to avoid those cliffs. But this marks the end of my final video of 2024. It's been a hell of a journey. At the start of the year, I had barely over 100 subscribers. Now I've got almost 1,000. And I would just like to extend a massive thank you to everybody for all of your likes, all the subscribers that have joined me, everybody that has been leaving me lovely comments so far. It's just been great. It's been a great journey, and I hope to see you coming along next year for what I have in store then. Of course, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And if you know anybody who might be interested in this sort of thing, share the video or share the channel. I'd really appreciate it. I'm hoping to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That's a big fingers crossed, but we'll see what happens. If not, it won't be long after that. But for now, and the evening sun here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I would like to wish you all a very happy Christmas, and I will see you early in January in the new year.